Hello everyone, I want to do a project today, one of the kind of things that you make up as you go along. I've got a piece of picture framing mount board here that measures 4 3/4 inches by 7 inches, and I've given both sides a coat of gesso because I found in the past that picture framing mount board warps. By giving it 2 coats of gesso it's nice and flat, or it is at least at the moment, so I'm hoping that this will help as I add my next layers. Now I've decided I want to add some Asian book text, and I want this to go approximately 3/4 of the way over. It's just about the right height for the piece of picture framing mount board that I'm using. So I'm going to glue this on. I'm going to use some PVA glue. I'm using the Artway glue, and what I'll do, let me just put a couple of blobs on there like that, and let's just spread it out with a paintbrush, and we'll see if we experience any warping. But this glue, from my experience, is nice and strong, so I'm hoping this is going to stick my book text down nicely without it bubbling and coming unstuck underneath for the next layers anyway. So let's just spread that out in a nice even layer and stick this down about there like that. Now I've got my bone folder at the ready, and I'm just going to use that just to smooth it down. And as soon as this is dry, what I'm going to do is use an emery board just to take the excess away from the edges. Now I'm just going to use an emery board just to file the excess away. I'll do this over my bin because it's a bit messy, but you can see it comes away really easily. That's dry. I want to add some tissue paper. I've got a strip of tissue paper here that came in packaging from a pair of shoes. I'm going to screw it up, and I'm going to unravel it, screw it up again. I want loads and loads of creases. So we've got a few here. Screw it up again, pressing really tightly. I want the texture to really show through by doing this. So we'll do it one more time, and then I'm going to stick this down as well. So let's have a look and see what this looks like. Doesn't matter which way round it goes. This had a little bit of branding on it, you might have been able to see, but now with the creases you would never be able to tell. But I'm just going to glue this down on the left hand side like this, using my my Artway glue again. So we'll put another couple of blobs. Here we go. Oh, might as well use that there as well. Make sure that we've got plenty on there. In fact, actually, I think it will be easy for me if I do it like this. Make sure we've got plenty on the edges. Let me just grab a little bit more. This glue is really nice and strong, and then quite like this edge better, I think. I don't know why, just because. And I'm just going to tap that down. I want to try and maintain as many of those creases as possible. And again, I'm just going to leave this to dry. I'll grab my emery board again just to file away the excess from the edges. You can see that I'm just pressing down along the edges here, because that's where you need to make sure that it adheres well. And if you can see that it's not sticking properly, add a bit more glue. But, you know, as soon as that's dry, I shall get filing with my emery board. Now I'm just pressing along the seam here just to make sure that that's stuck really well, so that we've got a seamless join. But as I've said, I'm just going to let that dry now before I attack it with my emery board. Let's add a bit of colour to this. I want to try and highlight this gorgeous texture. I've got some chalk pastels here. These are just really cheap, ordinary chalk pastels. I'm going to start light to dark. But just look how this picks up the beautiful texture of that crinkled tissue paper. Just absolutely lovely. Let's add some to this side here as well. Not quite sure how I want this to go, but I'm just, as I've said, just going to work light to dark. Add a bit more, just building up those layers. I only want the darker colours on the left-hand side. Let's try this one next. You see, I love that. That's just gorgeous. Before I add my fixative, I've got this kind of brick burnt orange, and I've decided I want to add some of that as well, just to give it more of an autumnal look. Yeah, and you see that's just made all the difference in my eyes. Just beautiful. And I'm thinking that perhaps we can add a touch of green as well. Why not? Let's go for it. This has had 3 coats of fixative, and I'm pretty sure that the colours are locked in. Nothing is coming off on my fingers, so I'm really happy about that. Now for my focal image, look at this beauty. This is a leaf that I dried last year. I picked up all of the fallen leaves from the ground, and you can see that they'd all started to skeletonize. Is that even a word? Absolutely beautiful. I've got several of these. Let me just show you. Let me just bring some of the others over. So these are some of the other ones that I dried as well. They're all just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, just look at this one here as well. That one looks a bit freaky though, considering you know, it's Halloween, bonfire night. But you know, I've had a hard choice trying to decide which one of these I want to use. You see, I do love that one there as well. Oh my goodness me, which one do I use? Oh, crikey, you know, now that I've done that, I think I prefer that one there. Let's go with that one. They're all gorgeous, aren't they? So what I want to do is just apply a little bit of glue to the back of this here. Let's just use this PVA glue. Let's just apply some glue just around the outside of the leaf. Bit in the centre as well, of course avoiding the natural holes. Let me just apply some down the spine just so that it actually sticks to the gorgeous background, and then I'm going to apply a napkin over the top to hold it all in place. So let me just try and do this really gently. I want to try and preserve that little bit that's about to fall off. There we are. Isn't that gorgeous? I love the colours of that. It's just absolutely beautiful. I've been using a piece of deli paper just to make sure that that leaf is well and truly burnished down, so that it's not going to lift when I do the next stage. So just burnishing it down, and I think that's fine. Now what I want to do is add some matte medium. I normally use the De La Rowney. No, it's not. It's the Winsor & Newton Galleria, but I'm almost out of this. I've got the Liquitex Ultra Matte Medium, so I'm going to try this time. And I'm just going to pour some of this over the top, and just spread this out with a really soft brush. I'm going to be super careful about this. Hopefully my fixative will keep all of my pastels in place. Looks as if that's working, so that's good. And then I'm going to apply a single layer of napkin, just white catering napkin over the top, just to secure my leaf in place. I've just got a single ply of catering napkin, and I'm just going to place this over, pull out where that crease is here, and just try and smooth it out. If I get the odd wrinkle, that's fine, it's all texture. And then we'll pour some matte medium over the top, and we'll do the same again. So just being really gentle this time, because of course I've got the tissue on top, so brushing outwards, whoops, and this is just going to look absolutely beautiful when it dries. Now this looks quite opaque at the moment, and it will dry translucent, but the one tip I would give you is just make sure that you press down any of the air bubbles, especially around the raised areas like the stem of your leaves or flowers or whatever you are using if you decide to try this. And you can see where the air pockets are. So just gently tapping down, making sure as well that it's pressed down around the edges. And I'm just going to leave this to dry. I do want to add a border. I'm using Distress Ink in frayed burlap. Let's just try and add some of this just to the edge. Whoops, not glued down particularly well, just on that top edge there. So I'm just going to go around the edge like this to start off with. I might add some walnut stain as well. We'll see. Let's try darkening it just a little tad with some walnut stain as well, just so that we've got a double border. I haven't done one of these for a while, but you know how much I love them. And that's just lovely, giving it a really lovely frame. Beautiful. And before I do anything else, I'm coming back in with my pastels just to go over the top again. Oh, you see, I just love that yellow. Now, do I add any more colours, or do I just leave it like that? Do I add it on the leaf as well? Yep, you see I'm doing it. I can't resist. That's just beautiful. And I'm going to have to add more fixative as well to this now that I've gone down this route, but that's okay. Add some more of these colours. This just gets better and better. I love that. And I want some of the gorgeous green as well. I'm just rubbing my fingers around the edges as well, just to give it a bit of shadow and shading. This has had 2 more coats of fixative, and just look how beautiful it is. I am astonished at how flat it's kept with all the layers that have gone on top. Now I'm going to try something, and I have no idea whether this is going to work, but I'm going to try adding some of the Tim Holtz Distress Glaze in the hope that it will just make the leaf more translucent. So I'm just going to dab this off on a bit of wax paper, deli paper. But yeah, I think it's working. I think this is crying out for a touch of gold. So bring in my treasure gold. I haven't used this for absolutely ages. Right, hang on a second. Let me just wipe some of this off, because I only want a tiny weeny amount. I just want some touches. Just look at that. Touches on the leaves. Let's dip into the lid. Some on the stem as well, just so that that shines, and a tiny bit as well, just on the raised areas here. And I'm just going to add a touch as well, just around the edges, not too much. I don't want to overdo it. The treasure gold is just absolutely beautiful, and if I tilt my page, can you see it? I love it around the edges as well. That's just gorgeous, a really nice finishing touch, and I'm thrilled to bits with how flat this has stayed as well. No buckling at all. I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and hopefully it's given you some ideas as to how to use skeleton or semi-skeleton leaves as well. But if you've enjoyed the video, as always, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up. Do let me know what you think in the comments below. But most importantly, thanks for watching. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.